Today's story is titled, My Late Wife Created an OnlyFans Account, and I believe it's not an AI-generated profile, by DanteJWrites. The link to the story is in the description below. Please enjoy. I find myself at a crossroads, unsure of where to turn for help. My wife, who passed away in 2024, now has an OnlyFans account using her exact name and likeness. Recently, I've been receiving clips with thumbnails of someone who looks identical to my wife in our room. I can't find any solid proof that it's really happening, and I refuse to click on the videos out of fear of viruses or hacking. At first, I thought it was just an AI-generated profile or maybe a cruel joke, but now, I can't shake the feeling that something much more sinister might be going on. This all started last year when I gave up trying to explore the dating scene. I use dating apps like Tinder or Bumble, but modern dating feels too materialistic and overwhelming for someone born in the 90s. Navigating online as a widower, especially on social media, is awkward and challenging. It was easier to fall into a simple addiction of watching attractive people promote themselves provocatively, scratching that itch but not letting the wound heal. With OnlyFans now a mainstream platform for earning money online, I kept falling into a cycle of fighting the urge, failing, and then sinking into self-loathing. Rinse and repeat, until I felt nothing but apathy towards my addiction. That's when I saw her. This new profile, using my late wife's name, included a realistic photo of her, posing semi-nude, with a bio that had a subscribe link. The picture wasn't just similar, it captured her dimpled smile, the one she always had before realizing the camera was on her. It was uncanny, taken from her best angle with her head tilted, but most of all, she had a birthmark. A tan blemish kiss on her neck that was unmistakable. To this day, I can't tell if the photo is real, even after running it through an AI photo checker. Even if the checker says not AI generated, that doesn't necessarily mean no edits. But if it's a real photo, taken with a real camera, on a real day, I swear I would have known, since I've gone through every picture of Emma for her memorial video. I memorized every single one to forget how cold, lonely, and terrified she looked in a casket. I should have been able to settle it then and there. Instead, it made the nauseous pit in my stomach grow. A terrible impulse slowly took over me like an untreated disease. The software could tell me what the image isn't, but it can't tell me why it exists. My wife, Emma, was everything to me. I've known her since high school, through the same friend groups in those long afternoons, doing dumb stuff after class when you don't yet know what you'll become. Type A to her core. She was always thinking, organizing, moving, trying to keep everything and everyone together. It was exhausting, and she was stubborn as hell, convinced she knew the best way to do things. Sometimes she was wrong, but she loved completely, her whole body, her whole heart. She made a terrible mistake, one that cost her life. I know my limits. Those were her last words to her friends on their night out, and I know she drove home because she thought, I can't leave the truck here, and she believed she could be the exception. I can't pretend I'm not upset with her. I can't pretend her choice to drink and drive hasn't cut me so deep that I no longer feel right in this world. A world that remembers her tragic accident because it's easier than remembering her. Fuck that. I remember the girl I grew up with, the woman who tried, who gave everything she had. I loved her completely, flaws and all, and I still do. That's why I couldn't unfollow her even if I told myself it was spam or some demented stranger behind a screen. I can't leave her, even though I've tried, because she keeps following me first. Like most OnlyFans creators, this fake account also had other social media accounts, including an Instagram account, and she not only followed my page right away, but also every single social platform I used. She also started messaging me immediately after following. Her first Instagram message still makes me sick. At Emma After Dark. Hi, I know this is strange, but if you ever wonder what I'd say to you now, it's in this video. This was the only time I responded, and when I did, it was in a tearful rage. At Joe in the City. Who is this? Is this some type of sick joke? Stop. Right now. I know it sounds impossible. I wouldn't believe it either. Please stop this. She's dead. You don't get to use her face. No response. I couldn't wait, so I decided to take matters into my own hands. I'm reporting this account for impersonation, unauthorized use of content, and harassment. I can trace and expose who's behind this. What you're doing is illegal, and I will involve the law. It's okay, Joseph. I knew you'd lash out. You always do when you're afraid. This caught me off guard, and was quickly followed by two sharp, gut-punching responses. You once said fear was like suffocating, and it was worse when you were lying to yourself. Nothing's changed, and you never follow through on your little threats. I know that you'll eventually click play. You enjoy watching things unfold. I was frozen and still shaking. I didn't, and still don't, know how to respond. How did this person or bot know something so personal? Something rooted in my behavior that only someone I grew up with would notice and mention so casually? I tried reporting the page for removal, but nothing happened, and her daily messages doubled. Each time I even think about reporting the profile as fake or a scam, she says, "Please don't report this yet. Just watch the video. After that, I'll disappear." This account can predict my moves, and I understand it's likely paranoia, but I can't shake the feeling that it's something otherworldly. Emma's in my head constantly. My thoughts are drowned out by her image, even after I begin to ignore her on all platforms. After I blocked them, I received another message, on a different account, with the same writing style and username, at Emma After Dark, featuring an updated photo of Emma, but this time she looked stiff, like a taxidermied animal. Her skin was sickly and pale, and her pupils were so dilated they looked completely black. I figured it was just an alt account. I blocked that one too. Then another one appeared, and another. I gave up trying altogether. I even logged out of the apps and turned off notifications, hoping that would end it. But it didn't. I started to receive texts. I know Instagram doesn't send text messages. Not like this. Not the contents of DMs. Not word for word. Not in the middle of the night with no sender ID. The messages kept coming. Spam-like texts that appear sometimes hours apart. Sometimes stacked so close together that my phone will heat up in my palm. Each one claims to be a notification, insists it's a message request, and begs me to open my social apps. One day, out of pure frustration, I left my phone face down on the kitchen counter, as if it were something alive. I needed it to wither away, and the faintly bleach and stale smell of my apartment hallway only added to that desire. I remember questioning if it was someone's cleaning, maybe. I can't quite remember. The fluorescent lights hummed overhead, too loud, too sharp for me to handle, and once I was outside, the air and silence felt refreshing. It was in the evening or early morning. The sky was that in-between color that fascinated the soul with wonder and unease. I remember a short-haired woman with a dog rushing past me as she quickly entered the building. I didn't pay much attention to her because I was too fixated on her dog's legs, which didn't quite touch the ground and almost flickered in and out of existence. When I looked away, I noticed a distressed man across from me on a phone, but his mouth didn't move when he spoke, and his face began to blur like smeared chalk dragged across concrete. I looked away from him. A new shape started to form in my peripheral vision, and that's when I heard it. Ding. I told myself it was someone else, another phone, another person. Ding, ding. It sounded closer, less distant, harder to dismiss. I checked my pocket to just make sure it wasn't there, and nothing. Ding, ding. I looked up and noticed the man had put down his phone and stopped talking. Ding, ding, ding. It was closer and louder. From the edge of sight, I could see what looked like a face peeking out from the corner of the building, and from its long, stretched mouth came that hollow, digital chime. I turned to face the strange figure, and it was gone. When I looked behind me, the man was gone too. I started breathing fast, and my hands were shaking. The world felt too foreign now. I pivoted back inside and was immediately confronted by the man standing just an inch from my face, who quietly muttered, "I know my limits." With a jarring thrash, I broke away from him and toppled the woman over her dog while rushing down the hallway. The lights, the smell, all the same, but overwhelming. Louder, closer, and suffocating me. My apartment door was still open, and inside, the phone sat where I left it, waiting. The screen lit up as I stepped in. One notification, then another, then dozens. I eventually caved in and opened Instagram, and, to my confusion, noticed I had only one new message. The account was brand new. No posts, no comments, just today's date and a haunting lone DM. "You didn't block me. You blocked what I was using." Over the past few months, I became frail, sick all the time with unknown illnesses, and overwhelmed by exhaustion. I can't recover. Sleep isn't a relief, because when I do sleep, I dream of sitting on the couch with her, just like we used to after long days. Those moments felt most like home. But last night, it wasn't a dream. The room disappeared, the walls vanished, the lights went out, and everything beyond the sofa turned black. She stayed there, glowing, sitting beside me. I could feel the air thickening. Her knees tucked beneath her. Her socked feet brushed my thigh. She smelled faintly sweet. For a split second, the dream was almost beautiful. Then she began to speak. "You fell asleep again," she said, smiling. Her lips widened and lingered a second too long, and I saw her pale eyes slowly darken. "Finally," she said softly, almost amused. "We have time for ourselves. Now I get to meet the sad boy who pretends to be a man." I tried to respond, but I couldn't. "Are you upset?" Her head tilted, as if testing my reaction. Then she continued, her voice almost sincere. "I'm sorry. You were in love with this vessel. She's dead. As for her body, She gave it to me. The endless void pressed in all around me. I felt myself shrinking into the couch, deeper and deeper, with a crushing pressure in my chest. You know that. You've always known that, she whispered. I'm here now. She lifted a hand to her neck, to the tan birthmark just below her jaw, the one I used to kiss without thinking. Her fingers were longer, too long, and they playfully traced the mark. The skin there began to pool, not tear, not bleed, but stretch unnaturally like wet spandex, as though it was loosening itself. Beneath it was a creeping shadow, a figure crawling from a depth where there shouldn't be a chasm. Her fingers lengthened as she continued to loosen the familiar shape, her body unfolding with moist, quiet patience. The thing wearing her face with eyes that became slits, damp holes, watched closely, drinking in every reaction, every broken breath. I couldn't scream. I could barely breathe. It suddenly spread everywhere and nowhere. She disappeared from my sight, but her voice kept repeating, I'm here now. I desperately looked for a way out, but there was nowhere to go. Shadows hissed and coiled around me. I curled into myself on the couch, my entire view swallowed by darkness, her voice still echoing in my ears. And then I started crying. I started crying harder than I ever have before, not just from fear, but from mourning. I lost everything I cared about, and it is killing me. Even after waking, I still feel her presence and hear her voice as clearly as my own. I cannot escape. She's become a weight I both fear and crave. I can't look at other women, can't get aroused, can't feel anything when I try. My emotions, my desire, they only exist with her. I need to see her. She sent me another message. It's a new video, and Emma wants me to watch it. I know this time I cannot resist.